Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel and I make lifestyle videos here on YouTube. One of the things I talk a lot about is RV living full-time, and it's because me and my husband are currently living full-time in an RV. We don't travel around, we're still stationed, we're still stationed in one spot, but I like to kind of share our journey. A lot of you all like to hear about it and I get a lot of questions from you all about it. So today I kind of wanted to answer one of the questions that was asked in case other people are kind of wondering about it but haven't actually asked me yet. And the reason why I'm answering this question is because I personally had the same question before before we actually started RVing, and someone else, it had multiple questions asked to it, or multiple people asked it, so I figured this would be something good to kind of have a topic about and just kind of answer your all's questions in one video. So the question is, where did you put the cat's litter box? And that seems like such a simple and random question, but it was seriously something that I was wondering what the heck we were going to do about too when we were going to move into an RV. The person that also asked another person commented on that same thread and said, my exact same question. We are in the process of going full-time and need suggestions on where to place a litter box. Thanks. And so I did respond to that, but I kind of wanted to talk a little bit more in depth about it and kind of explain how I decided to do it and maybe some other options. I also want to talk in general kind of about RV living full-time with animals. It was definitely a concern for us when we first decided to move into a camper, because obviously we were living in a much larger house and we had a golden retriever and a cat. And honestly, they were together a lot, but they weren't together all the time in the same space, so we were a little worried about that. But it's actually been very smooth. Everything has went fine. They get along great. Nothing has been wrong with that. But it's also space is an issue when you have a larger dog. So obviously this is not, I mean, it's obviously not what we want for our golden retriever, for a space issue, but we do just have to be more conscientious and just make sure that he's getting enough exercise, that we're taking him outside a lot, that we take him to places where he can run free. And so all of those things are super important when you have a larger dog in such a small space. But I think you also have to remember that if you ever start feeling like, I don't know, he needs to get out more, you're always constantly making sure he gets out more and you're kind of stressing out about it, I always remind myself that there are a lot of animals that are living in dog houses that are so much smaller than this. And so I think you just kind of got to put things into perspective and not stress out about it too much, but just make sure that you know that he's getting enough exercise. And so we always try to take him places where he can run free, like I mentioned, and just take him outside enough. So he's actually very happy in here. He jumps up on our big old bed and has a massive bed to lay on. So I don't think it's an issue having a large dog in a small space, or in a RV, if you're worried about that. Having a cat in an RV, that was a bigger change for me, because you have to let go of all of your worries about them jumping up on countertops. It's gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen in a smaller space. And so I think it's just letting go and releasing all that stress and just knowing that that's how it's gonna be, and you're just gonna have to either love it, you're just gonna have to love it. There's no option. So just being okay with her up on the countertops and just trying to just clean as much as you can so you feel better about it. That's just kind of what I've had to do. But other than that, I think my cat absolutely loves living in an RV, because she's so needy. She needs attention all the time. And when we were in a bigger house, it was easier for us to not be in the same room as her, or to not pay as much attention to her. But when you're in such a small space, you pay so much more attention to your animals. And so I think she loves it. She loves looking out the window. She loves being able to lay up on our bed all the time. She freaking rules this camper, let me tell you. So I think with her, it was perfectly fine too. And he loves it too. But I think with him, it's a little bit more of an issue where you just have to make sure you're taking him outside all the time. He's walking around and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I don't think it's that big of an issue having animals in a camper if you're worried about that. But getting back to the actual question about the litter box, so I want to find the exact Instagram account that helped, the people that helped answer this for me. So there's an Instagram account. Her name is Mallory and her husband is Justin, and their account is the Motorhome Memoirs, and they just share their journey as they are RV living as well. And I actually asked them what they did about cats, because they have like 5 cats or something like that, so they have a bunch, so they definitely know what they're doing. But what they had done, I think they had actually made it to where the cat could go into the crawl space, like the under space of the camper, and use the bathroom or have the litter box down there, so that it wasn't actually in their upper part or in their camper. Well, I think that is actually a wonderful idea. But for us, we didn't really do it like that. We didn't really customize the camper to where we could do that. There is one place underneath the sink that she could get under through, but I'm not really comfortable with her being around like all the pipes and stuff like that she could mess up. And we do use the bottom space for a lot of storage, so that just didn't work out for us. So another person that had done it, and maybe it was her, I cannot remember. Actually, I think this account had did it kind of like how we did it, and a different one that I talked to had done it like that. I can't remember, I forget, but anyways, someone else that I had talked to, I think it might have been them, had basically took a cabinet space and made a little hole on the front of it to where their cats could jump in and use the bathroom or whatever. We did it a little bit different than that, but kind of the same concept. We took the cabinet door off of our kitchen. There was a kitchen area, and there was a door as soon as you walk into the entrance on the right. There is a cabinet that we took off because it had like a top shelf and then a bottom compartment that had wood all the way around it, so that the litter, the smell, all the nastiness couldn't get into like any of the kitchen utensils or anything like that. It couldn't get into that. But it was the perfect spot to put her little litter box, because she can just go in there, hop out, and then on top of the shelf above it is where we can put like her food and water and stuff. And so she knows all of her stuff is right there. She can just jump up there. The litter sometimes gets on the outside, like in the floor near the door. That is the only really issue we have with it. The smell and stuff isn't as bad as I thought it would be, as long as you just empty the litter box regularly, which my husband does. But it just hasn't been an issue, and I was definitely worried about it. That's why I really wanted to kind of talk about this with you all, because I was kind of worried about how it was going to work for her. I thought that the camper was going to stink and that we would smell cat pee all the time, but it just doesn't. And we use I think it's, I forget what cat litter. It's the kind that has the Febreze in it and it clumps up. That's the kind we use, and we don't have issues with smell or anything only if you just forget and haven't emptied it in a while. But other than that, she does knock a little bit of litter out of the little compartment thing, but it's really not that big of a deal for us. I just vacuum. I have to vacuum anyways. That's the other thing I wanted to talk about with a golden retriever, is the hair. If you have watched my vlogs, you know I complain about it way too much, but the hair is definitely an issue with your golden retriever because they shed so badly. And so when you're living in a smaller space, you do have to vacuum a lot more because it just builds up into little balls, and you just have to vacuum. So I would say on our end, that's the only issue with having a larger dog that's a golden retriever, is just having to clean up the hair all the time. It's just something that you have to get used to, and I don't know if I'll ever get used to it, but to be completely honest, but I just vacuum all the time. I vacuum almost every day to keep up with the hair that he sheds. And so if anybody has tips on how to control a golden retriever's hair shedding, I would love to know. Tell me, please. I would love to know. I'm all ears. But other than that, having animals in a camper, I think it did take me a little while to get used to it, get used to just being in a smaller space in general. Having animals, it was a little bit harder, but I think you get used to it and it just becomes normal. Like, it's not an issue now. It just feels like, you know, it's their home too. And so I think it's just being patient and knowing that it'll be okay. So hopefully these tips have helped you and you kind of get more of an idea of what it's like to RV full time with animals. It's not too bad for us. Obviously we stay stationed. It might be a little bit more difficult for people that are traveling full time. But yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed this video. If you haven't watched all of my RV living videos, I will leave the playlist in the iCard and down below in the description. I talk about a lot of different topics that might be helpful for you if you're getting ready to go on this journey. So thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.
I'm just gonna close my eyes and pretend that I'm not here. All these empty faces talking about problems, I don't care. I can't wait till sundown cause my body's aching. I just wanna dance, I just wanna dance. Don't you wanna party? Standing in the crowd